While you're trying to train the lizard, Miku arrives in the stable house room you're doing this in. He looks around and looks at the lizard, looks at Trislin and Zyn poking at it. And he says,
did he poke Trislin? Did he really poke Trislin?
No, he didn't. You are poking the lizard.
No, I thought he said you poked her.
No, Trislin and lizard sounds alike, I guess.
Yeah.
Miku looks around and says, "Oh, I am not..." He looks around. "I was looking for the one that saved me."
Just looking. Oh, him. He's talking with the sage. What, dead? One of them.
Oh, I hope he is not dead.
He's probably not dead.
You don't know that.
Zyn is making a very educated guess.
Oh, okay.
Miku blinks at this exchange. "I will assume then that he is alive." I see.
Doesn't look. Yes, he's alive. I'm just teasing you. He's talking with the sage, but two other siblings.
I do not understand teasing.
She gestures Miku to look at her as she will make an example, and she looks at Zyn. Zyn, your hair is still stupid.
And that, Miku, was a very bad example of what Tristan is trying to explain.
Miku blinks. Is insults the same?
No.
Sometimes.
I don't mean it. I just say it to tease him.
But why do you say it if you don't mean it?
Because I get bored very easily.
Seems to frown as he sort of struggles with this concept. That seems complicated to me. How do you know when you mean it and when you are not?
I would know.
Teasing is forcing a reaction from somebody. If you mean it or not, doesn't usually matter.
I see. So the reaction is what matters.
Yes.
He looks around. Are you then teasing the lizard?
No. I'm trying to train it not to run away when we are in battle.
Unsuccessfully, I might add.
It's not completely unsuccessfully. It's supposed to puke. At least it doesn't run away as quickly as it used to. It's hard to tell it to do something it doesn't want to.
Miku looks at the lizard, looks at you again. Slowly sort of seems to consider and take all of this in. I see. He looks around. Are you then leaving the city soon?
I would think so. Why?
I wish to come with you.
Huh. Okay.
Zyn will not hesitate when he says, I don't see why not.
I have been given leave by the alchemist. Although he was hesitant, he finally allowed it.
Well, Alauneari, the other female, is...
Ah, yes, the one with the red eyes and the strange expression on her face.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, sure, Sakara can do that. Puke rainbows.
Miku looks at Sakara. It seems that you need to tease that creature as well, then. It is doing the same as the lizard.
No, that's because the spores in the air is toxic for our lungs. Happens to me too, and Zyn. And the gnome, and Shell.
Well, Miku seems to consider this. Oh, I see.
Can I ask something?
Of course.
You said that your children are spores too.
Yes.
How do I know it's not your children that I'm puking up?
Zyn looks at Tristan. He's not sure what to think about that question, but he didn't consider that before. And is quite interested in Miko's reaction.
Miku seems to consider most of the children come from the caverns to the south. If you cough them up on the ground, the spores will be reabsorbed into the circle of life of the city. Nothing is wasted, I believe.
So you did not ease me at all?
He bows. I am sorry.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, I guess, but indeed that does make me a bit uneasy as well. It's a good thing we are leaving quite soon, I hope. Not that I don't like your city.
It's just not fun to cough all the time.
Yes. Though I do think I know how the lizard feels now.
The lizard looks at you with pleading eyes.
Bruh.
And pukes.
Yep. Miku seems to consider. I see. Well, I shall wait here with you then until Rilinid, what's his name, returns.
I like your hat.
My hat?
I think that is his head, Tristan.
Trisha knows that.
He blinks at her. What do you mean?
Is there something similar in the stable that she can put on her head, like the mushroom thing?
Really?
Seriously, is there?
No, not really. Well, she can maybe fish around. Maybe she can find like a bucket or something.
She just gestures. I don't know. Maybe he'll be offended, but Trishan would never know anyway. He just says, "Your what is it called? A cap?
Yeah.
Mushroom cap looks like a hat."
He sort of touches the cap. I see. I am not sure what you mean by that, but this is part of my being.
Well, it's still nice.
Thank you. He bows. Sort of peers at you, sort of cocking his head, seeming to take in all of this strangeness he's being exposed to.
Well, maybe it will make him leave.
No, not really. He seems to actually settle in. Sort of he goes to a corner of the room and sort of stands there.
Well, she will also tell him that she points at Zakari and says, his name is Zakari and he can speak too, so you could always ask him about his pukingness if you want.
Zakari looks at Trislan. And she gets a feeling that he's annoyed. That he does not at all want to talk to this mushroom thing.
Well, she is annoyed too.
Everyone is annoyed.
So empathically, they're just exchanging annoyedness.
Yeah, yes, they're annoyed.
So then we'll turn to Miku once again. So, Miku, you said you want to accompany us. Is it just because of your life debt, or are there other reasons for your decision?
Miku thinks, I suppose there are also other reasons. I am curious, I am told. And to sate some of this curiosity, perhaps journeying with you, I can see new sights of the jungle. I have not ventured far from the city, you see, and it seems that your group is going far and wide across this place. Perhaps with you I can see new sights.
You're not scared of the spiders and the weird creatures
There
with
are many.
open heads?
Then mumbles he is one of the weird creatures.
I
Not as weird as those.
I am wary of many of the dangers of this place, yes. But I can defend myself if need be. He sort of professes his glaive, which does seem to be quite a nice craftsmanship, actually, and quite dangerous. Sort of wicked looking, and he could probably, swing that pretty mean.
Well, that's good. Do you know a lot about the stuff in the jungle?
He thinks, I know some of it. As I said, I have not journeyed too far.
We encountered a screaming thing
A screaming thing.
that Zyn stepped on.
Oh,
Then frowns.
He didn't know.
can you describe it in more detail?
Then we'll try to describe whatever he stepped on.
Okay, you can do a nature roll.
Hooray. Let's see. 22.
Miko nods. That sounds to be a shrieker. They grow in patches all over the jungle. Disturbing them lets loose quite the howl. It can carry for miles.
Then
Did you
frowns
sh-
again. That is a very appropriate name.
Nods. Yes, it is. We usually avoid them. Such noise can bring down all manner of predators and creatures upon you.
Yeah, we tried that.
I see. Again, so looks around and settles in his corner. Content to wait, it seems.
Well, Tristan will go back to train the lizard, not just poking it.
He's like the shadowy character in a roleplay chat tavern who like walks in, sits in the corner, brooding, watching all the other inhabitants.
Yeah, only he's just standing there. With his glaive over his
These
shoulder.
mushrooms don't sit.
Oh, he doesn't sit much.
An indeterminate amount of time later, which may or may not encompass multiple days.
Exactly.
7
The
weeks.
the rest of the party arrives.
Right. After all, we had 3 days. My goodness.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. Gotta stop by, pick up the tent, pick up Shell. All swaddled there. Help me!
Why are you doing this to me?
Little bundle of joy.
Yes, joy.
Little bundle, I say as well. She's like nearly twice as fucking big as my character.
Uh,
Help me! Bleeding eyes. There we go.
Alauneari simply returns and gets on her riding lizard, wipes its mouth with a piece of cloth and throws it on the ground, and then, gets ready to get out of here.
Pollution! Anyway, Tristan will tell Alauneari that she did not completely succeed with the stay, but she needs more time.
I'm sure whatever you did, it would be useful in the future, dear sister. Now, shall we leave this place? I have had quite enough of it.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, Miko wants to talk to you guys.
Alauneari looks down at the Miko from atop her riding lizard. You were to follow us, is that correct?
Miko bows. Yes, I have been given leave by the alchemist to accompany your group into the jungle. As I have explained to your companions, I am young and, as they say, inexperienced and curious. It is my wish to repay my debt to you by following you into the jungle. Perhaps in doing so, I can help in some small way. And perhaps some of my curiosity can be sated. He bows.
Alauneari nods. Then I shall accept your service.
But Miku blinks and looks over to Rilinid and looks
You can
back to
call me
Alauneari.
matron from now on. Matron of House Vytharia. She seems sort of in not the best of moods. She wipes some of the goop from her mouth and looks towards the exit.
Miku nods. Very well then, matron of House Vytharia. I shall follow you.
Make sure that you do. In time, if your service is good, perhaps there would be some reward in it for you.
Seems to frown at this, but nod. And he will basically fall in. Again, casting a glance at Rilinid, but, seeming the commanding presence of Alauneari atop the lizard, he will fall in, behind the pack together with Shell and Iverna and whatever else creatures are following you around.
That's fine. That's okay. I'll have a talk with with Miku later about the mood swings of Alauneari.
It's probably a good subject to get out of the way.
That's right. She designs herself as master of everything, mistress of everything, and sometimes you just gotta humor her.
So I suppose the first thing we do is leave.
That is certainly something you can do. No one stops.
Take a breath of, I guess fresh air is not really the word.
No, I don't think
non-infected, sort of normal density.
So, looking at the map here, I think that we should follow along with the suggestion as provided, and make our way over towards the east bank. We can loop around it across the northern shore of the river, perhaps by going to 710, then 810, then 909, and then wrapping around the edge. If, befriending the Zyn could be useful to us in some manner or fashion, and it undoubtedly would be, then going across would be helpful. As well as, if there was an ancient Zvirfneblin empire, which once existed here, there could be some relics or sort of ancient artifacts, particularly if Valsenstadt has never been explored by the Zyn, and it's so isolated over there, that could be of great use to us. Both from a monetary, like a greed perspective, as well as we could immediately utilize this type of thing. Not exactly just knowledge, but resources as well. If there was like an ancient, vast city on top of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alauneari will nod, pop-minded, and say, yes, it sounds like as good a plan as any.
That's my suggestion.
Tristan does not care.
Let's see, total time past this chapter is 13 days. I'll go ahead and add another. That's chapter 4. This is chapter 5. Let's see, we spent 3 days within the city of Zyn. So we're looking at 16 days so far since we set out from Faster Vault.
Yep.
I still have food from the first day left.
We have done pretty great at survival, and with Miku, that'll even be better, although he doesn't exactly look for what we look for, but he can maybe help differentiate between good mushroom and bad mushroom.
I bet he'll come back at some point and go, oh, look at this tasty dirt I found.
So nutritious.
And I figure we might as well just go ahead and take a slow approach and go through our 1 hex per day with just exploring around. There might be something else of particular interest to us if, encounters where, we haven't exactly been here. We need to map this out for any time we might come here in the future. We got all the food in the world and time.
Yeah.
True.
Rain likes the idea of going round the coast.
Yeah. I mean, if there was, like, in order for us to get to the island, we're looking for some manner of passage, presumably, maybe like an old dock or pier, which still has serviceable boats, which would allow us to get across, or maybe maybe they have, like, a teleporting stone, or some other form of...
There was a teleportation circle permanently to this rock.
If there was a civilization in there out there, you'd assume that they had some sort of means of getting many people.
So we don't know, which, that's why we want to go find out, because that could be something we could utilize ourselves.
Can't have been too big an empire for just one island.
Right. I mean, it's a pretty vast city, apparently all stories told, so they might have had, obviously, some outposts in smaller cities along the exterior bank of the mountain, not the mountain, the lake. And I suppose they were on the eastern side, since the Zyn, although the sage could very well have been lying, I'm sure, never lie to us, because we're never lying to it, might be over there on the eastern side. And along the way, if we come across any Skisrael, it'll be fun and exciting.
Also, I put the little marker up at the top showing where the city of the Skisrael are.
I saw that. Good job. I put a "you are here" arrow during the
Yeah, I thought it was a good thing to have on the map.
during the recap.
We can certainly use that instead of the star.
Might make more sense.
Alright.
We aren't stars, are we?
I don't think we
Pretty
haven't seen
stars.
stars before.
There we go.
So
All right. Miku can certainly provide some help, some of his knowledge when scouting around. Whoever sort of takes Miku with them in scouting or searching around will get a +2 competence bonus to any survival or basically perception roll you make to scout around.
But probably Zyn who takes him around, since he
you
wants to squeeze as much knowledge out of him as possible, really.
You can go ahead and take
Okay.
Miko along. I have a question, Jonas. Rather than make a perception or survival check, let's say that I just wanted to look explicitly for these mushrooms that might be serviceable in an alchemical reagent type aspect. Could I choose to make a knowledge arcana check instead, if I just wanted to limit my daily looks into those?
Let's take a look. You can certainly say, all right, I don't really scout or anything, but I keep my eye out specifically for these mushrooms. Yes, you wouldn't really contribute anything to the scouting effort, but you can certainly sort of keep your eye out for those specific mushrooms. Yes.
So I didn't know whether I could still use a perception or survival, whether I could use knowledge arcana instead, because of...
You can use arcana instead to identify these mushrooms. They are strange or like magical enough for it to work.
Okay.
I should say.
That's good.
All right, so Miku goes with Zyn.
In that case, we're going to go ahead and move from 611, the hex where the city of the Zyn is, to 710.
710? Mother's my
Our little army.
Yep, our little army.
It is growing slowly.
And Miko's gonna ask, what does Tristan mean by teasing in this? And it's gonna, oh, god damn it, why?
Yeah, and we'll have like one of the Skisbra with us, and like a Dwergar and a Dwarf.
No, Dwergar.
Dwarf?
A
A drag up
One of
maybe,
everything.
but dwarf? No.
I am not. See, I have my limitations for whom I will politely socialize with. God damn it.
I don't think
Dwargar
the
is
dwarves
not
are
on that list, yeah.
Dwergar is above mushroom people on their list.
I would say Dragar above dwarfs on my list.
I see we have been
It's
rearranged.
one and the same.
Alright, so we're going to spend a day faffing about Hex 710 then.
All right.
Yeah, what else would we do?
You may
710.
faff about. Yeah.
Go ahead
Time for
and
food.
Go ahead and make your relevant rolls, peeps.
God damn it. Rolled a 2.
Derp.
See what other damage.
Miku is not helping. He's distracting Zyn.
He's
That's not
distracting.
that good.
That is
Everyone's rolling bad.
6.
terrible.
I think all of the great rolls were expended last week, in which case we'll actually have to eat some of our own food. My goodness, it's crazy.
Well, at least we didn't get a 22.
The dread 22.
Oh, close.
So I'll go ahead and make my second roll. Having an off day.
You can certainly map this area, and you jot down whatever observations you make. You can mark it as explored. You're not really able to forage for anything here, so yes, you will have to consume basically things you brought with you.
Some people were able to.
During these scoutings, Miko is talking or trying to ask things of Zyn that to Zyn's mind perhaps are quite strange. And maybe that is why he's somewhat distracted today. But at the end of the day, Miku says to Zyn, perhaps these could help in some small fashion for what you are trying to do. And he sort of digs into his satchel and brings out a small piece of cloth and hands it to Zyn.
Small piece of cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
It's folded up.
Then we'll take the piece of cloth and take a look.
It seems to be a rudimentary map
Oh, that's useful.
of the area. Miku says, I have done some small annotations myself. Not in too many areas, I'm afraid, but at least these would perhaps be some use in your efforts to map the region.
Then we'll examine the map and nod. Yes, this may prove quite useful. Thank you, Miku. And once he has time, he will compare the map to his own map that he has tried to make over the past few weeks, or days rather.
Right.
Past 2 weeks.
It is. It seems to be actually quite well drawn. It has a lot of landmarks, etc., put out there, and it's quite fine detail actually. You can sort of use this map to copy notations onto your own. This would mean that the area closest to the city of Xan would basically count as explored for you if you do this.
So that would be 7-11? Or which one?
That would be basically, if you look at the
6-11,
map,
I thought.
it would be basically these hexes that's sort of around the city.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Wait,
So anything
a
special
lot of
in any of them?
According to his map, these are like the heart of the Xan territory. They seems to be fairly well patrolled, actually. There are not really marked up as many sort of permanent dangers. If Zyn asks, Miku will tell him that the people of Xan has expelled any sort of dangerous inhabitants that were in these areas to secure the city.
Grimith, I can't move your do not map tokens. Thank you.
So basically mark all of these as nothing of interest.
Might even be worth it to note down the borders of the Xan.
Potentially. So 9-11 and then 9-10, 8-10, 7-9.
This.
Or which ones?
Let's see. This.
Oh, what? Oh, there's a lot.
That's a lot. Okay.
I'm going to have to go through my map and just take everything off there.
That was one hell of a nice map.
So 0709. Don't have that.
Miku will nod and say, it is not as extensive as it could be, but the Xan do not travel too far from their home. The domain of the city could be counted as extending a bit further, but this is the extent of my knowledge.
It is certainly a big help, I think, considering that our own map is even more limited at the moment. So I'm working on changing that.
Be the power of the Xan. Oh, we just wasted a day there, Miko.
This area also. Sorry, this area
Oh.
also.
Go ahead and redraw all the lines now. Oh my god.
Hooray!
Fucking
10.
professor.
But right now that territory looks like a heart.
I love you.
They probably don't know too much about hearts.
Tell me of this heart you have.
Alright then, on the next
Show
day...
me.
On the next day, what I suppose we're doing, since we can pass through these hexes and each of them takes like 5 hours, we're gonna... truck to 10:09, I guess.
Alright.
I'm just trying to work out what I've got. Okay.
Yes. You once again search the along the banks of the lake. You can make appropriate rolls.
Yay, appropriate rolls.
Survival +2 bonus.
Let's try that.
33.
Let's go ahead and make that, and then another one. God damn it!
You are not allowed to make progress.
I'm only allowed to roll 3s. What the fuck? That's my third 3 already. I hate this game. I used up all of my luck in the downtime.
Yeah, exactly.
No.